I mean, you could say to me, if we get 9 points from the other 3 games and finish on 91, but you lose to Arsenal, would you take it? I might just about do that because it's 90 points is a bigger trophy than the beating Arsenal trophy.
With an eye on, there's this game and then going into next season, Ian, there's one of the hardest things about being Liverpool. Everyone does the sort of the history Rodgers referred to as a backpack, I think, or the weight of the shirt or whatever it is. I've always thought that was a little bit overstated from our point of view. There's lads playing football and that's the way it is, and if they're not very good, they don't get very good results. And if they are very good, they get very good results because it's playing footy. But one of the problems is, Liverpool can be crap and 8th. And I think United have had this problem last couple of years. It's still the idea of winning at Anfield. It's still the idea, if you're a player, of beating Liverpool. It's still one of your biggest games of the season. I quite like the idea of, well, it can't be any bigger when we're the champions. I just won't have it. I think that's always there. Beating Liverpool is one of the high points for any player of the season. Winning at Anfield is a career high point for a wide variety of top flight players. But now we get to stride in as champions. We get to back ourselves, put our chests out and say this is where we are. It could be Liverpool in the most sort of, in the best pomp that they can be in. And the opposition can't really take us any more seriously than they already do.
Yeah, I think that game, I mean, listen, the Chelsea thing will have been its own thing, and obviously we'll know the result by the time people are hearing this. And that's the game just after they've clinched it. So you can forgive 1 or 2 maybe for not being quite at it, but I think this game is totally different.
Yeah.
I think on your own patch, against the team who have been the nearest rivals, although we were talking off air before, they've never really, certainly from my point of view, ever felt that much of a threat. And then when you start losing players, it always felt unlikely they'd ever mount a proper challenge. But I think the manager will be bang up for it, and the players will be bang up for this Arsenal game. I really, really do, and I think that will play out in a performance. But I also just think the crowd will react in a certain way. I think it'll be fucking really kind of pretty ferocious, I imagine. And listen, it might not play out that way, but because of how it's been with Arsenal and stuff over listen, more than one season, there's been a load of seasons where we've gone up against them. But I just think there's a bit of needle there as well. Certainly online, which you can't use as a bit of a barometer and stuff.
No, last week I thought the home game against them, when it goes off with Xhaka arguing with Trent.
Yeah.
Last season when there's the Odegaard handball, and the crowd was, and Arteta says afterwards, for 20 minutes there, they put us in the washing machine. Yeah. Like, part of the washing machine is the crowd being all the way up there.
That's it.
I think it's been there.
Well, it's in his head as well, because we've all seen the shows, we've all seen the programmes where he's playing Never Walk Alone and stuff. So, and it was in, and maybe that's some of that because he was with Guardiola for a period of time at City as well, and we know it was in his head. So I think all that plays into a game where it'll be pretty ferocious from the start, from the off, and I think the fans massively will play into that. I think we're in for a great game, to be honest.
I think it's the first of the great games, the first of the great games of the champions. I agree in the way of Chelsea's its own thing, we don't know. But it might
do you think it's a treat, Neil, in a way, for us?
A what?
Given that we've done the business, do you think it's a bit of a treat that this game
I think it's a treat if we win. I think we're likely to. I think the idea of we win, we increase whatever the points gap is on them. We get to sort of look them in the eye and go, you're going to have to be better, boys. You're going to have to improve because this is how good we are, Damien. I just think it can prove to be a bit of a marker.
Defo, yeah. I haven't got any animosity towards Arsenal. I don't get involved in all that online shite. A great club with a great history, and then you can spin it like, and what's Arteta supposed to say? I think we can win the league. Of course he's going to say that, but he's paid homage to Liverpool by talking about you'll never walk alone, and they paid homage to the crowd by talking about the washing machine. What are they supposed to do? It is a tighter beaters. They're just not as good as us. And I think there's a part of it. I think there's a Man City narrative in the background here. In that, the charges and the way they've done it and whatever have you, and I don't know who's guilty of what and whatever, and I don't want that to be part of it. But Arsenal will feel like it hadn't been for Man City doing what they were able to do, and if that hasn't been fair, they'd have won the league a couple of times recently. Well, guess what, lads? I know you're concentrating on that, but so would we. Right, so someone, when Man City fall off, so someone falling off a cliff, don't act like it's only you. It's us in equal measure. In fact, it's us more than you. So I can understand everyone batting for themselves. So, yeah, I do like the idea of Liverpool making a statement and saying, well, come to Anfield when we've technically got nothing to play for, and then you could probably take the same. So we've all got our excuses, but we just buried you. We're the best team in the country, and we just buried you, and just put that in their mind. You know what I mean? And that is a very small thing in regard to what might happen or not next season, but every little teeny percentage point counts. And if that's 0.5% next season about how imperious Liverpool are at Anfield, and oh shite, we've got to go there again, and they always do us, don't they? And then when we get away with a draw, like you've just got out of town, but clinging on to it. I like the idea that Liverpool enforce that Anfield is the fortress. And when you come to Liverpool, Liverpool is the biggest game of the season for everybody. Everybody. It always has been. And our rivals won't want to admit that sometimes, and they might do through gritted teeth. But beating Liverpool, even when Liverpool aren't beating Liverpool,
Anfield,
but beating Liverpool, when Liverpool come to town, to where they're playing, that is like one fixture. They're all looking for that, and if they do that, quite rightly, so it goes with the taste. So it goes the other way round. Let's make sure that we ram it down everyone's throats.